Good afternoon, everyone. Before I start the talk, I would like to make a confession. But before, I would like you to make a confession to me first. So, for the past year, how many of you have procrastinated of doing something, some work? For example, your assignment, you say wait later, or I'll do it maybe tomorrow. You can just raise your hand. Anyone? I see. Most of you have done that, right? Procrastination. I do myself do that also, because we always tend to want to postpone our work because sometimes we work late, we come back lazy, and we are very tired, or we think that this work is a bit difficult, maybe tomorrow someone may help me. So we always wait until when the timelines come nearer, then we decided to do our work. So procrastination, in fact, is considered one of the deadly sins besides the 7 sins that we have known. In the 16th century, during the Puritan time, it was also known as the sin of folly. That was the time when the English Protestant is trying to purify their church practices. So in fact, procrastination will lead you to do nothing and will mostly generate disappointment, anxiety, as well as shame. So procrastination actually will ruin your dreams, will damage your relationship, and also will destroy your happiness. So I believe that most of us has fallen victim to procrastination before. I myself do. So many years ago, during my time when I was studying my final year in Polytechnic, I knew this girl. This girl was somewhere that I know from the shopping center, and then we start to get along quite well, and then she felt special to me. But over a year, we never developed further than friends, but we get along quite well. So a year later, she dropped some hints. In fact, I think strong hints, but I still continue to do nothing. And then finally, the relationship or whatever friendship has gone. So you see, procrastination had taken away my happiness. But that doesn't change me to become an anti-procrastinator. I continue to procrastinate until a life-changing event that happened about in the early 2000. So what happened was, I go through my medical screening every year. So during that time, I did a ECG on my heart. It's a compulsory item as part of my medical review. So you know, the nurse will put all the little wires around your body and start to measure the heartbeat. So after the first round of a medical examination, the nurse look at it, look at me again, and look at it. Then he do one more round again. The second time he did the examination again, he looked at the chart and looked at me again, and then he go and call the doctor comes in. So this round the doctor comes in. The third time he look at me, adjust the wire a bit, and then measure. Then after he see, then he say, the waveform is inverted. So what does that mean? I also don't understand what does it mean that your heart rate is inverted. Then the doctor say, I shall send you to do an ultrasound examination to look at your heart. So I begin to become very worried. But the point from, I have to wait for 3 months before I can get my ultrasound examination because there's a long wait. So during the 3 months time of wait, I began to start to Google and what does it mean by inverted waveform, because the doctor doesn't want to tell me more about it. So I realized that inverted heart wave was due to your heart. In fact, we have 2 hearts, left heart and the right heart, and has some abnormal functioning. So that leads to the inverted waveform. And the worst thing is, if it's on the right heart, the mortality rate is very high. It means that you can die within a few months' time. So I'm taking this negative part aspect, and then I become very worried, and I start to build up my bucket list. So I think I have so many things to do, but my life is become shorter. So what should I do? I should faster do a lot of things and do many things before I pass on. I even decide or plan how should I die so that I can leave some name on this world rather than I die on the bed without anyone knowing. So this actually changes what I think about procrastination. I decided that if I really do well or can live longer, I should do as many things as possible. So lucky for me, the ultrasound examination was all fine and I'm healthy now. But a few years later, the same thing happened again. I went to my medical examination, go through an ECG, and then the doctor looked at it and looked at me and said, your heartbeat is slow. Oh no, I think heartbeat is slow. What does that mean? Is it like the movie like ding, 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 then you die? Then I asked the doctor, what does it mean slow? Then the doctor looked at me and said, oh, your heart is fit. Because slow means you don't have to double your heart speed to pump the blood around your body, so that you don't have to stress your heart so much, so you're okay. Wow, that was a relief. But that incident actually enforces me that I shouldn't procrastinate any longer. And so what do I did? If I got time, I'll travel more with my little friend there, and also take up some hobbies such as learning music and also volunteer some work, so that I try to live as fulfilling my life as possible. But that is not my confession. I have been a very strong anti-procrastination advocate. I always tell my friend, don't procrastinate, do your work, because it reflects a very bad attitude on you. But I realized that there's a different study on it. Let me share a study with you that why it changes my mind. So these psychologists in 1927 called Bloomer Zekanek have observed that during his visit to a cafe, that a waiter or waitress always has a good memory on tabs that's been not completed or meals is not served completed by customers. But for those that already served, they will tend to forget easily. So she had this observation, and then she started to employ a participant to test her hypothesis. So she get the participants to do some tasks such as doing a puzzle or assembling some box. And in between the experiment, she suddenly interrupt them. Then after the experiment, she interviewed them what has happened. And to her surprise, she realized that those who are interrupted during the work or task had actually got better memory retention than those that already completed the task, who tends to forget more. So this leads to a thing called the Zekinder effect. Essentially what it means that if you started the work and then you are being interrupted and do other things, in your mind, it subconsciously actually is been popping you to try to remember something so that you can get back to the work as soon as possible. So what does that mean to us is, if you are studying for an exam and you get interrupted, don't be worried. Usually the memory will try to retain in your brain. And then when you come back to study again, it actually will help you to retain even further. So in another book by John Perry, under the book of Art of Procrastination, he's a professor from University of Stanford. He does not like to grade his students' assignment, because what he finds is very cumbersome. So instead of marking the assignment, he will usually go and do other things, such as settling his bills, do his laundry. Then after that, he observed that and he theorized that what he is doing is actually known as an active procrastination. So that means that while you are procrastinating, you actually are doing other things. Of course, the opposite of that is called passive procrastination. That means you do nothing, and that's purely laziness. So that's the one that we do not want to practice. We want to practice active procrastination. And in fact, based on this theory, he realized that procrastinators actually do more things than those who do not procrastinate. And he also said that for those procrastinators, they tend to be a great thinker, because during the procrastination period, they actually go through their thinking, they ponder, they go through a lot of decision making, so that they become more ideas to do their creative work or to invent something. And the last is a book by Frank Hartnoy under the title called Wait. He's also a professor from University of California, Berkeley. So he said that in the olden times, during the Greek time or Roman time, the wise leaders are generally the thinker. They do nothing but just sit down there and think. Absolutely do nothing unless necessary. So what he says that in his book, that procrastinators are a great decision maker. What they do is, anything happens, they don't react immediately. They will take their time to think, rationalize it before they make the decision. What does that means that if you have a decision to make, for example, you buy a clothes, buy a car, you don't react immediately. Rather, instead, you wait for a while first, go and make other decisions, make a wise choice before you come back, so that when you purchase something, that will help you to make a very decisive choice. So we can see that procrastination gives you 3 improvements. It improves your memory retention, it improves your creativity, as well as it improves your decision making. There are many more benefits about procrastination. So this actually get me curious. Since there are so many benefits, are there any example of people that actually benefit from procrastination? So let me show you the example. First, we have this Leonardo da Vinci. As we know him, he's a great artist, he's a great sculptor, he's a great inventor, he's a great of everything. But you know that the Mona Lisa, he took 16 years to complete. Because a lot of time he's doing other things. What I understand is he doodles a lot. So he actually got a book of all his doodling about his invention, but some of them never really actually happened. And throughout his life, although he's a great artist, he completed less than 20 works. And one of his best, also another famous drawing, The Last Supper, he actually did not really complete it until the person that funded him to draw that decided to threaten him to cut off the funds so that he actually completed it. The next person is Mozart, surprisingly, the great composer. He also is another great procrastinator. Most of his composing is actually done in his head. And he only really write it down or pen it down on the scores when he actually completed composing in his brain. So for the intro for the opera at this Don Giovinci opera, he actually completed on the morning before it was premiere. According to history, while the orchestra was playing, the ink on the score sheet is still wet. You can see that actually how late that actually he completed his work. And finally, we have this Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States of America. In his famous speech during the American Civil War at the Gettysburg address, so he actually completed his last paragraph of this address the night before. This whole address is only 217 words. And currently this address is actually one of the famous speeches in the American history. So you can see that actually they are all the great people that actually do their work last minute. So my friends here, don't worry, if you complete your assignment the last minute, you are in the one of their league. So what does that mean to me? So through understanding of what procrastination is, actually I'm not so worried anymore. If I start to procrastinate, first I will practice active procrastination, so that I can make full use of my time. And I know that if I procrastinate a bit or get interrupted a bit, I'm will indirectly benefit what I'm into memory retention. So I do start to practice. In fact, this whole presentation I only completed about 4 days ago, and then I'll spend some time to practice this. Okay, so before I end this, I would like to share with you my little story. 1 year ago, about 2 semesters away, I took this class called research method. So in this research method, our group need to do a research report. Basically, is to form up a research plan, do some little survey, and then finalize the report. So our team built up the report, and we decided to finalize our report the day we supposed to have. It's on the 21st of April, and the timing is we need to submit before 12 p.m. in the midnight. So our group meet up on a Saturday. It's the 21st April, is a Saturday, and we came to NTU to do the report. And so we started after lunch, and then we start to work, so-called work on it. The initial start was slow, but then as the momentum keep in, we start to change the paper. But as you know, research report, if you change the start of the paper, there's a cascading effect. You need to change everything on the back. So as we start to do, the time start to kick in and start to ticking in. And then 15 minutes before submission, we are still writing. And 10 minutes before submission, we say, hey, faster, we need to compile already. And then finally, just 2 minutes before the submission, we managed to submit. You can see 11:58. We just barely make it on time. And it was like there's no room for mistake for either a wrong submission, a network down, or even a proofread. We actually have no chance to do it. Just purely based on each individual effort, our best effort that we have put in together. And to our relief, this little page actually shows that we have successfully submitted, and it was a huge relief. So, for myself, I think that whatever grades that I will get from here is actually a bonus because of our effort that we have put in at the very last minute. But lo and behold, a few weeks later we got our result, and we get amazing grades. It was truly a relief. So I attribute this little good effort or result from our procrastination effort. It may be true or maybe not true, but it does show something. But if you ask me, if I want to go through this again, definitely a no, because you will never know when your heart is going to drop out again. So that's to say that procrastination is not so bad at all, but through understanding what's procrastination will actually give you advantage. So if you see your kids, your workers, or your friends procrastinate, don't worry, use it to the advantage. And just remember, procrastination will improve your memory. Procrastination leads to creativity, and procrastination will help you make good decision making.